Hello friends, welcome to Align Pattern. Today we are going to continue the questions about computer architecture and organization set which we saw in the previous video. If you haven't seen that set of questions, I'll definitely provide a description link below to make it easier for you to study. So without further delay, let's start with the questions and answers. So our first question is, compiler translates a. Answer is high-level object program into object program. A compiler is a translator program which translates a high-level programming language into equivalent machine language programs. Question number 2. The three main parts of central processing unit CPU processor is. Answer is ALU, control unit and registers. The computer's central processing unit, that is CPU, is the portion of computer that retrieves and executes instructions. The CPU is essentially the brain of a system. The control unit, arithmetic and logic unit, and registers of a computer system are jointly known as the central processing unit. Question number 3. Which unit is used to measure the CPU's processing power? Answer is MIPS. MIPS stands for million instructions per second, that is used to measure CPU's processing power. Question number 4. Which unit is used to measure the CPU speed of a computer? Answer is IPS. IPS stands for instruction per second, which is used to measure a computer's processor speed. Don't get confused between CPU's processing power and CPU speed. Both measures with different units. Question number 5. The device which puts data on data bus in a computer during write operation. Answer is CPU, that is central processing unit. When it is write operation, the processor will put the data to be written on the data bus. When it is read operation, the memory controller will get the data from specific memory block and put it into the data bus. Question number 6. Which of the following CPU register holds data or information before going to the decoder? A. Control register, B. Memory data register, C. Accumulator, D. Stack. And the answer is B. Memory data register. Memory data register, MDR, or a memory buffer register, MBR, is a register in a computer processor or central processing unit CPU that stores the data being transferred and from the immediate access storage. It contains the copy of designated memory location specified by the memory address register. Question number 7. A bus used to connect the monitor to CPU processor is. Answer is SCSI bus. SCSI means Small Computer System Interface. SCSI is a universal parallel input-output interface to connect multiple peripheral devices of different types on a single input-output bus. Depending on the standard, generally it can connect up to 16 peripheral devices using a single bus, including one host adapter. SCSI is used to increase performance, deliver faster data transfer transmission, and provide larger expansion for devices such as CD-ROM drivers, scanners, DVD drivers, and CD writers. Question number 8. Which of the following special purpose register keeps track of the address of the instruction which is to be executed next? A. Stack pointer, B. Program counter, C. ALU, D. Both B and C. And the answer is B. Program counter. The program counter holds the address of the memory location which contains the next instruction to be fetched from the memory. The program counter is automatically incremented after an instruction has been fetched. Question number 9. A special purpose register that contains data to be written into or read out of the address location is known as. Answer is memory address register, that is MAR. The memory address register MAR holds the address of the next memory location where the next instruction is to be executed. The address of the next memory location is held by it when the first instruction is being executed. When reading from memory, data addressed by MAR is fed into the MDR, that is memory data register, and then used by the CPU. When writing to memory, the CPU writes data from MDR to the memory location whose address is stored in a MAR. MAR, which is found inside the CPU, goes either to the RAM, that is random access memory, or the cache memory. Question number 10. Which bus carries the clock pulses? Answer is control bus carries the clock pulses. The control bus is unidirectional bus. It is the part of the system bus and is used by CPUs for communicating with other devices within the computer. The control bus carries commands from the CPU and returns status signal from the devices. For example, if the data is being read or written to the device, then the read or write will be active. Question number 11 is, the major basic functions performed by a computer are. Basically, computer does 5 basic operations that are input, output, process, storing and controlling. The basic operations performed by a computer are arithmetic operations, logical operations and storage and relative functions. Choose any of the available options. Both answers are correct. Here we just consider the option arithmetic operations, logical operation and storage and relative functions. Question number 12. The device used to fetch or bring instructions and data into a computer system is called. Answer is input device. Input devices such as keyboard, mouse, scanner, camera, joystick and microphone etc. are used to provide data and control signal to an information processing system such as a computer or information appliances. Input devices translates human readable language to machine understandable language. Question number 13. Which of the following is used to connect microprocessor, memory and other parts of computer? A. Data bus, B. Address bus, C. Path, D. Route. And the answer is B. Address bus. The address bus is unidirectional. As we know, it is made up of collection of wires connecting the CPU with the main memory that is used to identify particular locations, that is addresses in main memory. Address bus is concerned with passing an address one way from the CPU to the RAM, so the answer is address bus. Question number 14 is, the main components or basic units of a computer system are input unit, central processing unit and output unit. Every computer system has these three basic components. These three are primarily responsible for making a computer function. Input unit help users to enter data and commands into a computer system. After receiving data and commands from users, a computer system now has to process it according to the instructions provided. And finally, output unit displays this data to a user after processing of data and converted into a format which humans can understand. Question number 15 is, what is the function of logical unit in the CPU of a computer? Answer is ALU, which is responsible for all arithmetic and logical operations. Logical unit is a subpart of the ALU, that is arithmetic logic unit, which resides inside the CPU and is responsible for all arithmetic and logical operations. As the name suggests, the ALU performs both arithmetic and logic operations. Hence, our answer is arithmetic logic operations, which is responsible for all arithmetic and logical operations. Question number 16. The bus carries memory addresses from the processor to other components such as primary, storage and input-output devices each. Answer is address bus. Question number 17. Larger word size computer A can store smaller amount of data. B is not normally used because it is bigger in size. C. Execute programs at a faster rate. D. Execute programs at slower rate. And our answer is execute programs at a faster rate. Word size refer to the number of bits processed by a computer CPU in one go. These days typically 32 bits or 64 bits. Data bus size, instruction size, address size are usually multiples of the word size, and larger the word size executes program at faster rate. Question number 18. The bus carries control signals from the processor to other components each. Answer is control bus. Control bus carries control signal from the processor to other components. As we have known, the control bus also carries the clock pulses. Question number 19. The function of control unit in the CPU is. Answer is to perform logic function. Control unit is a mesh that directs the operation in a computer's processor. It lets the computer's logic unit, memory and both input and output devices know how to respond to instruction received from a program. Control unit receives the input information from memory and converted it into control signals. These signals then sent to CPU. Computer's processor carries out the operation with the hardware attached to it, and at final result gets stored into the main memory again. Question number 20. The circuit used to store one bit of data is known as. Answer is flip-flop. A flip-flop is a device which stores a single bit, binary digit of a data. One of its two states represent a 1 and the other represent a 0. Such data storage can be used for storage of state, and such a circuit is described as sequential logic in electronics. Flip-flops can be either level trigger, that is asynchronous, transparent or opaque, or edge trigger, that is synchronous or clock. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel Align Pattern, where learning made easy.